We'll see whatever that looks like for you. You can go ahead and let your hands rest somewhere comfortable. So either on your legs or in your lap. And if your hands are on your legs or in your lap, all I will ask that you do is just bring awareness to the space across your collarbones. So if you feel like that space is contracting a lot, maybe consider just drawing the heads of your shoulders back a little bit more to expand that space a little bit wider, create that space across your chest. And you can even soften your shoulders away from your ears a little more, or take a few shoulder rolls. That sometimes helps. And then before we find a little more stillness here, just go ahead and move nothing else, but if you can, drop your chin towards your chest. So your shoulders stay where they are, chest is broad, but just the chin draws down. So the back of the neck lengthens. And then roll your right ear over to the right shoulder. Again, nothing else moves, just the neck and the weight of the head. And you might feel a little bit of a stretch on the side of the neck. And then roll your chin back to the center of your chest. And then opposite ear to the other side. So left ear to left shoulder. And you can even start to close your eyes if you haven't already, so you can really start to lean into that sensation. And then draw your chin back towards the center of your chest. Keep your shoulders where they are. Start to lift your chin up towards the sky or the ceiling. So you feel the front of your throat open up a little bit more. And then imagine neutral, what that looks like. Just see if you can find that looking straight ahead, keeping both sides of the neck soft. Shoulders soft. Eyes heavy. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Do that a few more times on your own. And see if you can just observe as you breathe in the expansion even further across the chest, all the way up towards the collarbone. As your lungs expand, and then ever so gently finding that ease as you slowly exhale. Notice if there's any points on the inhale or along the exhale where your breath might feel a little sticky, or you find that you need just a little more effort. And then see if you can draw in with your next breath in a little bit more ease as you inhale. So I like that visual often of drawing in with the breath in, a little more ease, softening. And then as you exhale, just feel that trickle down through the rest of your body. Like this grounding down sort of action. So this rising with ease, this expansion with a bit more ease. As you exhale, this feeling of grounding down. Okay. We'll take One more together. So on your next breath out, get totally empty with your chest. And then maybe even place your hand on your belly and take a breath in right here and expand there, and ever so slightly. And then breathe all the way out, all the way to the bottom. So nice. And then bring your hands back to your knees. If you can, sit up nice and tall. Again, check in with your spine. Is it nice and long? And then we'll do that same sort of motion, but with our head and our neck. But you'll take a breath in to lift your chin up towards the ceiling or the sky. And then as you exhale, draw your chin towards your chest. And nothing else moves for these first few rounds of breath. Inhale to lift your chin up, open up through the front of the throat. And then exhale, chin to chest. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift the chin up. And then exhale, draw it down. And we're starting to add in the shoulders here. So inhale to draw the shoulders back. Think about the chest moving forward slightly as you lift the chin up. So we'll think like a cow like shape, cow pose in the spine. But then as you exhale, you'll round the shoulders forward. Your upper back draws back slightly and you'll draw your chin to your chest. You might even bring your hands to your knees for a little bit of counter here. And then do that one more time. Inhale, you'll rock the chest forward, shoulders back, and lift the chin. That expansion happens. And then as you exhale, you'll contract. So draw your chin in, shoulders forward, back rounding. Do that one more time, just to really feel into it. Inhale, draw shoulders back, lift your chin, lift your face. And then exhale to round the shoulders forward. You curl in slightly. So nice. And then you'll sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in to lift the top of your head up a little higher. And then as you exhale, just look to the right. So like start off with our neck and then we'll start to add in shoulders and spine, but then look forward. And then as you inhale, sit up nice and tall. Now, as you exhale, look over your left shoulder. So nothing else changes, just your head and your neck. Now we'll add on. You'll look forward, sit up tall on an inhale, but reach your hands up. And then as you exhale, you'll twist over to the right. So your left hand, lots of rights and lefts, left hand will come to your right knee. And then you can even place your fingertips of the opposite hand behind you for a little bit of grounding. And then if you want, you might even look over your back shoulder. So just a gentle twist here. And then on your next breath in, you'll sit forward or look forward, reach your hands up, nice and tall, beautiful. And then exhale, you'll twist to the left. So opposite hand comes to opposite knee. And if you choose to, look over your back shoulder. And then you'll look forward again, take a breath in. This time, interlace your fingers above your head. And if you can, flip your palms up towards the sky. Like you're pressing the ceiling or the sky away. And then you might even look up with your hands. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, release your hands down. So I'm going to try a mirror. I'm not sure if this is a mirror or not, but I'll try my best. So walk your right fingertips over to the right and reach your left hand up towards the sky. You can just over to the right. I'm getting a little more length in the side. And then you'll come back up, reach both hands high, and then you'll drop opposite hand. Inches away from you. Fingertips inch, and you just tip over to the side. Like you're reaching all the way out through your fingertips here. Take one more big breath in. And then you'll come to hands and knees. So tabletop pose. Whenever you're ready, you can move that block out from underneath you if you need a little shake of the legs, so a little, maybe a lot for the legs to stay in a seated position for a long time. Sometimes feels nice to give a little bit of energy back into them. And then when you're ready, you can bring your hands and your knees to your mat. Your knees will be about hips width distance apart. Your hands grounding. I like them just slightly wider than my shoulders, but wherever you feel is like a grounding position for you, take that. So not too close together, right? We want to keep that sense of expansion across the chest. And we'll start to move our spine in all those directions, right? In those 6 different ways, right? So we'll start to take a breath in and think cow pose. So drop your belly down, you lift your tailbone up, and then think about expanding across the collarbone. So it's sort of like a theme for today, right? Like, can you create a little more space across that area? And then as you exhale, press into your hands, plunge your upper back towards the ceiling or the sky, and drop your head. Think chin in, maybe even look in between your knees. And do that with breath here, 3 rounds. So inhale slowly to cow pose. And then exhale, round into cat. And then take 2 more rounds, the last 2 here, with your own breath. And I'll just ask that you move at your own pace, of course, but see if you can use your entire inhale to find that cow pose. And then entire exhale to round into cat. So it's not about how fast you get into that pose. It's about how much space you can create. So you use the entire inhale and the whole exhale to create that space. And when you're ready, you'll come back to a neutral spine, just hands and knees, tabletop pose. And then think like the letter C, right? Like you're moving side to side. Your spine will move laterally. So think your right rib start to draw over to the right. Your left hip will move over towards the left. And then if you want, left ear comes towards your left shoulder. So you're creating this backwards C, I suppose. And then you'll come back to the middle. And then you'll take it on the other side. So left ribs over to the left, right, like you're drawing your right hip towards your right shoulder. Of course, they won't touch, but if they're drawing energetically together, maybe right ear towards your right shoulder. Awesome. And then you'll come back to neutral. So nice. And then if you can walk your hands up your knees. So if it's okay to land just on your knees and balance here, take a breath in to reach your hands up towards the sky. And then we'll take a gentle twist here. So left hand will reach forward. Right hand will just start to reach behind you. So we're getting that twist in the spine here. And then you'll reach up. And then right hand will go forward. Left hand reaches behind you. So you start to bring your hands along for the ride as you twist. Do that one more time. Inhale, reach up, look forward. And then exhale, left hand forward, right hand goes back. So nice. Inhale, reach up. And then last time to the left. Left hand behind you, right hand forward. Think about lifting up through the top of the head. So nice. And then reach your hands up. Like you did before, interlace your fingers above your head. Flip your palms up. Take a big breath in. And then release your hands back down to the ground. Come back to tabletop. And then try something here. And if it feels a little too unsteady, you are more than welcome to bring both knees back down. But if you'd like to take what's called 3-legged tabletop, can feel really, really nice. to then just lift one leg behind you so you can play with balance. We'll start with the right leg, if that's okay. You'll send your right leg about hip height. If that's too much, create a little bit of a kickstand behind you, right? Bringing your foot to the ground. It's totally a fine place to stay. And you can still play with balance here. You could reach the opposite hand forward, or you could leave that hand down. But wherever you are, you can still be really active in that middle. Think of your body like the letter X, right? And we start to create our energy and our power from the middle of that X. Now, if you'd like, if your toes are on the ground, keep them there. If they're not there, you can bring them there. And if you can, on the side, tuck your toes and press back through your heel. If it's the side that just wants to stay as a kickstand, that can totally stay here. And you still work on finding that power in your middle. But if it's the side that is like craving that stretch, especially in the bottom of the foot, you can press back through the heel, and that might feel really, really nice. So wherever you're at, take one more big breath in and a powerful breath out. And then bring that knee back to the ground. Take a round of cat-cow just to rinse that out. Inhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone, maybe even lift the chin. And then exhale to round into your spine. And come back to neutral. You can walk your hands up your thighs, come up onto your knees. Now give your wrists a little bit of break because that's a lot of flexion in the wrists. Start to interlace your fingers together like you're making one big fist. And then you can even think like a infinity symbol or a figure 8 here, like you were tracing a figure 8 with your knuckles. Just in both directions. I always say switch directions, and then like my brain really can't figure out how to do that, but like you'll favor away. I would say switch directions, and I'm like, not quite sure that's possible, but if it is for someone else, that's totally fine. Go for it. Just really the goal is to like move your wrists all around in other ways other than just this way, where we've spent a lot of weight and a lot of time. And then keep that, reach that up above your head, that one big fist. Take one big breath in. See if you can think about your knuckles drawing up a little higher. And can your chest get a little bit more broad here? Take one more big inhale. And then release, maybe a little roll of the wrists as well. Release your hands back down to the ground. And then we'll take the other side. So you get to choose how this looks and how it feels, right? So you get to send that leg, the opposite leg, behind you. You can lift it hip height. You can keep it on the ground. But then I want you to really think about, no matter where you are, where is that hip, that left hip? Is it lifting up? So we don't quite want to open that up, right? Too much. We don't want to open the hip. We're going to try and keep it closed. So we keep that tabletop like back. And then we work the muscles that find that stability in our center. So this can be a big movement. It can be super, super subtle and small. No effort is ever, ever wasted. And if you want, you can reach that opposite hand forward. Take one more big breath in. And if you want that stretch in the back of the leg on this side, you can take that. And when you're ready, that knee comes back to the ground. Take one more round of cat-cow. So inhale to lift the chest, lift the tailbone. Exhale to press into your hands, round your back, and drop your head. And then you'll come back to tabletop. So we'll start to take a little lunge on each side. So you'll walk your hands up your knees. Now try this on. I'd like you to start with your hands on your hips to start to like draw everything in for balance. And if it feels okay, you can step one foot forward. Now have your block handy, and you can place it in that opposite hand for stability, right? So if you step that foot forward, your right foot is forward, your left hand will come to a block. I like it on the highest setting. That's just my preference. I feel like as we put it lower and we put our hand lower, chest starts to round. Can be really nice, but for me, and especially in this class, I like the idea of like opening the chest up, right? I feel like I spend a lot of time here, and I feel like we all do as humans. And finding a little bit more opening across the chest can be really nice. So in this lunge, if you're okay here, you can stay if that feels really great. If you'd like to, you can start to find a little bit of a twist. You could reach the right hand up towards the sky. You might even bring your right hand behind your head here, just to create a little bit of like a pillow or a cradle for the back of your skull, the back of your neck. Sometimes feels really nice. And take one more breath in right here. Maybe think about lifting that right elbow up or opening the ribs towards the right a little more, a little stretch. You'll reach your right hand back up towards the sky. Reach it forward. And then bring it back down. You can place it on your right thigh. And then maybe even down towards the ground. And if you want, you can swing that right leg behind you. And then bring your block to the opposite side, because we'll slowly walk the hands up the thigh. Hands to our hips first for balance, and then step that left foot forward. See how that feels. Now, I like to start also with 290-degree angles. That's like a nice place to stay. If you feel like you want a little more stretch in that right hip, you can walk the front foot forward and then lean your pelvis forward a bit, not too much, because you still want to keep this action of drawing in and then opening from there. Your right hand can come to your block on the right side. So like right inside that left foot, but like under your shoulder, right? On the right side of your mat. And then you can stay here. You can start to bring your left hand and keep it on your knee or your thigh, and then twist from there. That's an awesome place to stay. Feels really good. If you want a little bit more than that, reach your left hand up. And then if you want that little cradle for the back of your head, you could bring your left hand to the back of your skull. Maybe give yourself a little self massage on the back of your neck. Might feel nice. Take one more big breath in. Think about that elbow lifting. You'll reach that hand high. Bring it back to your thigh or to the ground. And then you'll come to tabletop pose for a moment. You can move that block off to the side. Again, a round of cat-cow. This will be your last. And if you're craving a down dog, like you're like, I just really want to tuck my toes and lift my hips up, you can go ahead and go for it. We're going to come to a seat next. So if you feel like you're like, nope, I'll just come to a seat, I'm good, you can do that. But this might be a nice way if you want to pedal out the feet a little bit, pedal out that foot that feels a little bit sticky. You can get that stretch through the bottom of the foot a little bit, through the back of the leg and the calf. Can give a nice break, but keep them bent. So oftentimes we think down dog is about this like perfect upside down V shape. I would so much rather bend knees and feel my low back lengthen, rather than the hamstrings stretching so much and the low back rounding. Take one more big breath in. And then you'll slowly make your way to a seat in whatever way makes sense for you. So as you face the front of your mat here, you can go ahead and take a shrug of the shoulders up towards the ears, a little squeeze, draw them back and down. Maybe close the eyes for a moment. Do that 2 more times. Shrug your shoulders up. Draw the back down. And then notice that expansion across the chest, across the collarbone. You might even take one hand to the center of your heart and one hand to your belly. So like we did before, just tracing that inhale. Just this time for a slow count of 3. So drawing in for 3, 2, 1. And then your slow exhale for 3, 2, 1. And then again, breathe in for 3, 2, 1. Slow exhale, 3, 2, 1. Do that 2 more times. You can. Your own count. Just in and out. See that big breath in, expand in the chest, expand in the belly, even if it's just a little. You might even open up your mouth and just let out a sigh, a slow exhale. And let the eyes open if they're closed. And keep your left knee bent and just extend your right leg long. Take 1, 2 stretches here, and then we'll eventually make our way onto our backs. So you'll take your right leg long, and the sole of your left foot can come anywhere inside the right leg, the rights and lefts today. And send your hands up towards the sky and start to then, if you can turn your torso or turn your chest and look towards your right toes, and then just start to lean forward. So it's not, the goal is not about how low you go here by any means. I would rather, if your hands come to the ground anywhere, take one more breath in. Think about your chest reaching beyond your right toe first. Then as you exhale, think almost like cat in the spine. Not too big, but this idea that you can start to like almost surrender to that stretch. It's not about how low at all. It's just about where you can create a little more space in the low back. And I'll sit up. And then keep your legs as they are. If you have the block nearby, you can feel free to bring it inside that right leg. I like it on the medium height. That's just a personal preference, but we're all different, all built differently. So you'll sit up nice and tall here first. And this time, rather than turning your chest towards your toes, your right toes, I'm going to think about turning your chest towards your left knee, right? You're not going to fold that way, but you're going to turn your torso towards the left. And then take your right forearm to that block. And just rest it there like you were, and then you're like almost like you were holding a tray here with your right palm of your hand. You can reach up, face up towards the sky. And then you could stay here if this feels really good, or if you want a little bit more with that top arm, you can reach your left fingertips towards your right toes. Obviously, the goal is not to reach them, right? So think about, rather, I'll rephrase that. So rather than grabbing for your toes, think about reaching up towards like where the wall needs to feeling maybe. And then you'll start to think about just like moving a little bit more, reaching a little more, getting that lateral stretch one last time on the left side. And then you'll slowly come up. Give a roll of the shoulders. And then you'll switch legs, left leg forward. Right foot can come to your inner left leg. You can even place that block there if you want it for your second stretch here. But the first one, you'll reach your hands up, turn your torso, your chest towards your left foot, and just fold over that leg. While being a little more mindful rather than just saying like, okay, we fold, that's our stretch. We get it in the hamstring, we get it in our low back, wherever it shows up for you, cool. But to be a little more intentional, you can place your hands down somewhere. I like to almost use like tent my hands like I'm gonna say like a spider, but you know, it's not like the best visual. You can take a breath in and think about that broadening across your collarbones, almost like cow pose here. Think your chest reaching beyond your toes. And then you start to fold in. So there's this dynamic sort of movement that can happen in something that maybe was once thought of as so a simple stretch. Take a full breath in. Maybe expanding, finding peace on the inhale. Finding that grounding on your exhale. Take one more round of breath in and out. Slowly come up. You too, shake it out. And then you'll sit up tall first. Turn your torso this time. You'll twist over towards the right, or turn towards the right rather. And then the left forearm comes to that block. Like you're holding a tray here with your left palm. Flip it up towards the sky. And then you can lean and tip the torso over to the left. Right hand can either reach up towards the sky or that reaching over action, like the right arm is alongside the right ear. So thinking about creating a line of energy from your right hip out to your right fingertips. Take one more big breath in. And just slowly release and come up. Take both legs out in front of you. One final little shake out here and make sure you have enough space behind you. And you'll make your way onto your back. And we'll be here for a little bit of time. So if you feel like you need anything additional to make you comfy, if you have like a pillow nearby, that's cool. If not, no big deal. It's something that if it's handy that you know you'll want for a little bit of relaxation. Totally great to set yourself up here. We're gonna first, before we find our complete stillness here, just bend your knees and take your feet a little bit wider if you can, and then just knock your knees together. This can sometimes feel really nice, how this constructive rest, but it can feel really nice to lengthen the low back. That would be the constructive part of it. So even though you're in stillness, you're finding this sense of release, this sense of grounding, sense of peace. You can bring your hands to land somewhere on your torso or arms down along your sides. And close your eyes. A full breath in to expand. And again, you can even open up your mouth, let out this slow exhale like a sigh. And if you are supremely comfortable here, you are more than welcome to stay here for a final relaxation. Or if you feel like you'd like one last little shape or movement to get yourself comfortable, maybe hugging your knees into your chest. That feels nice. Some maybe a little gentle twist, knees rocking side to side. That's so nice. Or you can let your legs eventually nice and long, like you're in this traditional shavasana like shape. Where the legs are long, nice and heavy. The arms can rest nice and heavy. And take one final guided big breath in right here to rise as long as a little guided relaxation here. Feel free to tune in or to tune out and use like guidance and awareness to like move away to muscles of your hips, the muscles, hips, pelvis, in the belly, and soften to release, to relax. And muscles, clasp, past shoulders, down the arms, the fingertips,